Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today. We're joined by Bloomberg's Lisa Mateo. Lisa, what do you have?
All right, I want to start with GameStop, struggling video game retailer, this favorite of retail trailers during that meme stock frenzy in 2021. So the big news there is that its board has adopted this policy to buy Bitcoin. It's really trying to capitalize on the surge in the digital asset. Its shares, well, they rose about 6% in after-hours trading yesterday. This morning, they've been up as much as 17%. The stock down about 19% so far this year. But it's more companies. They're using corporate cash, maybe borrowed money to buy Bitcoin. You think about Michael Saylor's Strategy, right? The software company known as MicroStrategy. It really started to kick things off. It acquired more than $40 billion in Bitcoin. It's seen its share price soar. So the question really is, what's the appeal to investors, right? Of public companies that have a big Bitcoin holding on their balance sheet. They're looking to gain exposure to the asset class in the stock market while not dealing with Bitcoin directly. So that's the reason why this appeal to it is.
Stock's up 10% today.
Yeah, wow. So it's done pretty well.
All right,
but they did report fourth quarter revenue declined about 28% to $1.28 billion from the year ago period.
Does that matter?
Yeah, exactly. After this big news, I know. Same is kind of true for Dollar Tree if you think about it.
I love the dollar stores because
Yes.
I don't know how you differentiate between them as an investor. Dollar Tree, Dollar General.
You know what's interesting because they, along with Target, used to be housed in the discretionary sector in the S&P 500. Then 2 years ago, they got moved over to the staples sector. A lot of it had to do with their grocery percentage business. So they're there along with Walmart in staples category.
Yeah, so that's the big problem that they had. The Walmart and Aldi too was like their big competition.
Aldi's all over the place now.
Yes, they are. I go there. I love Aldi.
Okay.
Let's get to Dollar Tree. Okay, so their share, it's been up as much as 4%, right? So it's kind of this disappointing end because they've really been trying to establish itself as this discount giant. So basically it's selling its Family Dollar chain for about $1 billion to Brigade Capital Management and Macellum Capital Management. And that's really a big discount because it was nearly $9 billion that it paid for Family Dollar when it bought it about a decade ago. The deal expected to close next quarter. It's likely going to cut those Dollar Tree stores count in half, so you'll probably see less of the stores around. I mean, it's not a total surprise. The company did say in June it was looking into different options. But yeah, facing more competition, guys. You said it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just, I don't know about that part of the market because you hear about how do you compete against Walmart and Target? But I guess if you're Dollar Tree and the Dollar Generals, that's another level. It's a different business, I guess, a little bit.
And maybe a different shopper, too.
Exactly. And there's things you can find even cheaper at the dollar stores than some of these other retailers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. How about Trump Media and Technology, DJT?
Did you remember yesterday, right? We spoke the news that it broke that it was tapping Singapore's crypto.com for this Made in America ETFs. And that had its shares higher. But this morning, we're seeing a little bit of a shift. It's lower. Shares were down as much as about 3%. So just to recap, the products are going to be available this year in the U.S., Europe, Asia, pending regulatory approval, of course. But it's going to include Kronos. That's a virtual currency affiliated with Crypto.com. But what I found interesting about the story is that Crypto.com, if you remember, it was previously in a legal battle with U.S. regulators last year. But then it dropped the complaint after Trump's election victory. So the administration's really been starting to ease those restrictions on the digital asset industry. So it's just quite a difference that we see from yesterday and then moving into today where those shares are starting to get lower now.
The stock's down 33% year to date, off about 60% over the trailing 12 months. So for the DJT. So
the DJT.
Keep an eye on that.
And he's Trump Media's largest shareholder, the president.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.